So, chapter 4. Here we go, straight into it. And now we're just going to get it so that whenever he hits the side of the maze, he goes back to the beginning. Just a little bit of a challenge, make it a little bit tougher to get through. Could have program it so that he just bounces off the sides as he goes through, but we're just going to make that little stage a bit more challenging. Whipping up to the top, just deciding to separate this part of the program from the key part of the program. Sometimes it's good to have a program will divide his programs into different sections and make it fairly obvious which is what, to make it easier to find things later on. So we've gone into there. We're grabbing from the control section, something we're familiar with from the last chapter, which is our forever loop, and we're popping that in there. We're going to do something forever, and we're going to do an if statement again, and pop that in there. So something's going to happen forever. Well, we want to sense the sides of the maze, so we're going back into the sensing category that we were on last time. Conveniently, we have changed the colour of our maze to a colour that is going to work. One of the tricks with working with colour is that you make sure your character is not hitting other things that have a different colour other than what you intend, so having a unique colour is quite useful. And now that we've thrown that touching colour in there, we just click on the colour, turns into a hand, and we move over very carefully and click with the index finger of the hand on the colour we want to choose. You can see now that it's changed to that particular colour. Obviously nothing's going to happen yet. When the green flag's clicked, do something forever. If touching the colour green, then what do we want? Well, basically we want him to go back to this position here, just straight away. So we'll just go into the motion category and find that program again. Now, of course, because the dog is already at that point, it's auto-entered in for us. Go to the, so we'll test our program now. When we press the green flag, we can see that both programs are operating forever because the yellow is on the way around them, and they're just going on and on and on. So let's move across the screen and touch something, and whoa, back to the beginning we go. So at this point, of course, you're going to find out how tricky it is to maybe move your creature. Later on, we might get the dog to point the other way as he goes, because it looks like he's walking backwards, but then we'll come to that. Up we go, and so on. Touching the side, bingo, back to the beginning. Awesome. Done that bit. Right, what we're going to do now is program our goal to celebrate the fact that the dog gets there. Later on, we'll also maybe use that to go to level 2 as well. So now we're going to get the dog to sense something else. And we might as well place that within this forever loop since it's running already, rather than construct another program. We're going to go in here and go for control and if, and just biff that underneath. So we're on the dog right now. We could do this on the donut. It could be the donut saying to the dog something. In this case, the dog's going to say something to the donut as a celebration. So if, and we're going to go back into our sensing category once more. So if I'm touching something, so over we go, and we drop that in there. What do I want to be touching? And here's where it's quite useful to have really good names for things. Obviously we can't end up touching the dog, so he's not in the list, but we can touch the donut. So if I'm touching the donut, what am I going to do? Well, let's just do something simple. So if we go into the looks category, we can say something and say, you are, well, it's a dog saying to the donut, yum, got here, I am hungry, well done. Okay, so I want to test my program without going particularly through the maze, so I'm just going to press the stop button, stop the program from running, press the start again, and I'll just cheat a wee bit by moving my character over here rather than going through all the maze. I'm just interested in seeing if the last part of the program works. Move him over, click, awesome, my goal is working. So now effectively I've got a game that is working at this point in time. I can test the whole game and see whether or not I can actually move through the maze. If I can't, my maze is a bit too tricky, might have to go back to the maze site, make the path through the maze a bit wider or slightly less complex by choosing another variation thereof. In the next chapter, we'll learn how to have some lives and a live and count down to game over.